How are you doing today? I'm very excited to come your way again. This week one of our online school. I know you've been very expectant. You'll be expecting us to come to your homes with these super lessons. I'm very excited about the topic that we are to treat today. Have you ever wondered the system behind websites that we access in our day-to-day life? Have you ever wondered how schools basically take records of their pupil, match it to their age, and also match it to the classes that they belong to? Well, if you have been thinking about it, then today is a very special day for you. We are going to be talking about databases and database management in computing, just as I've just presented earlier on. Are you excited so far about the topic? Then I would like to encourage you to stay glued to the lesson to the end. By the time we are done today, you would learn about databases and how data and information is organized in a particular system. By the time we are done with the lesson also, you will definitely learn how to create simple databases using programs such as spreadsheets, which of course, in other words, is known as Excel. So, you know what? If you are ready, I'm ready. If you're excited, I'm excited. Let's hop right in.
Okay, so welcome once again. I'm super excited that you've been able to make it this far, gluing to your screen and ensuring that you pick up one or two things from the presentation today. As we said earlier, we'll be looking at databases and database management, of course, at your level, so you have nothing to worry about. But with this, we'll be doing a presentation from the PowerPoint. For the benefit of the fact that you would be learning PowerPoint and treating PowerPoint in the nearest future, I would like to just quickly walk you through the steps in launching PowerPoint. Of course, the steps in launching. So another word, remember, as I've been saying always in class, is that when we talk about launching, it simply means opening. Okay, so we are going to open PowerPoint on our screen and then use it for today's presentation. So just take a note, take your notebook, take a pen, and make sure you note some of these things down, because at the end of the day, you will be taking some assignments. Some of these I've not outlined in the PowerPoint presentation because I would need you to note them down. To start with, it's so simple, not difficult. If you're using Windows 10, as I'm using now, all you could do is click on the start button. Then, after clicking the start button, your programs will be popped out for you, and you scroll through. With some of the windows, you have to click on all programs, but if not that, what you just have to do is scroll through till you are able to locate Microsoft Office. Either you locate Microsoft Office 2, Microsoft Office folder, or at times the PowerPoint would be made available just as you can see over here. You click on it and PowerPoint would resume or be launched on your screen. In my case, the PowerPoint is already opened and minimized to the taskbar. So all I need to do is just click the PowerPoint and press F5 for our presentation to begin. I know you are ready and you're super excited. Just as it has been displayed on the screen, we are going to look at databases in all later modules in the subsequent weeks to come. But today we are going to start with the introduction to databases or database management. I popped the question earlier asking you whether you've been wondering the system behind all these websites and numerous data and information that can be accessed from the website. And I also asked you whether you have ever wondered how businesses such as our school, Fatal Community School, is able to organize data and information about a student, about you seated and watching. Your name, your age, the class you belong to, and the various lessons that you'll be taking? Well, if you have been wondering, then this is a good time for you to pick up one or two from this. So, what is a database, or what are databases? Now, as listed, a database is a collection of organized data, information, and what? Records. Now, let's break it down a little bit. Find out what data simply mean in this case or in this scenario. In all our discussions during the face-to-face class tuition, I have always explained to you that data, in the simplest definition, are unorganized facts. They are raw facts. They are the raw files that are sent. They are the raw characters, the raw images that are sent into the computer for processing. Right after that, the data is now processed into information. Information is the result of a processed data. So in other words, information is a processed data. So in this case, we say data that is processed into information. And of course, with records, we are talking about organizing data in rows and columns. That is basically what database is all about. Organizing your data in rows and columns and being able to provide users like yourself with what? Adequate information. What is the purpose of database, or what is the purpose of a database? Database is information that a person needs in his personal, business, social, and religious life, and the power and the purpose of information is not only in collecting and finding them, but also, more importantly, in using them. So what is the essence of data if you collect them and you can't use them? The need to use data is very paramount to what we are doing today. And so information is not only in collecting and finding them, but more importantly, in using that information. All right. So I believe today you've gotten to understand the purpose of database and the reason why people like yourself would need to start at least creating something simple for yourself to collect information about your siblings, collecting data on their names, their date of birth, their age, and also possibly any other thing that you find relating to the data that you are collecting. So by this, you simply have a system that can collect the data in an organized manner, all right, in rows, and also by collecting them also in columns. Now, it should be a simple system that after double clicking or clicking on, you can find, let's say, your name. If your name is Prosper Vigneault, you have your name as Prosper Vigneault. By it is your date of birth, so that you can remember, the individual date of birth of your siblings or your mom or your dad, and be able to wish them happy birthday. And at any point in time when they want to get that information, your database is there to serve them. Now, another thing is that in some organizations, they have their data in one single stream on a system where multiple computers can access the data. Now, if we are not able to do it in this manner, then it means that anytime we want an information about something, we have to go to computer A or computer B or computer C to access them. But with a simple server and a database system, we'll be able to access multiple computers, over 5, 10, 15, including your phone, can access the information from one single database. So this is how important database simply is. Let's look at some of the kinds of databases that you have. It is not very confusing. It's just so simple. We've got the first one to be the structured database. It is also called a structured data, in which a record or file of information is arranged in a uniform format. So if you are collecting data of an individual, and you want to know the person's name, you want to know the person's age, the person's date of birth, and the class the person belongs to. This should be in a uniform manner, of course, which is under the structured database. These databases are usually storage of information with similar entries, such as a list of a person born in a country. So, well, let's come back to Ghana. In your class that you belong to, you have information or you have data on your fellow students, and let's assume that the students are made up of people from different countries. So we have Prosper from Ghana, we have Yakubu from Ethiopia, and we've got Marilyn, that's from United States of America. By it, a medical database of patients, which mostly are used in the hospitals. An inventory of database of a company and many others is what comes under the umbrella structured databases. Now, the second one is also free-form databases. It is a loose collection of information, which simply means that it is not as the structured databases. It is not sequential. It is not in a uniform format, but actually displays, all right, such as those you will find on the World Wide Web. You notice that the World Wide Web is made up of information from different sources and also from a certain website, a collection of all sorts of documents. So a collection of your documents in the computer made for several programs can be considered as free-form databases. What are some of the types? There are so many types of databases, but we'll concentrate on operational database and analytical database. Operational database. It is a dynamic database that is used by any organization in its day-to-day operation. So a school like Fatal Community School has what we call the operational database that is mostly found at the administration and also the account section, because in their day-to-day life, they have to assess who has paid their school fees, who is still owing, who is yet to pay, what have you paid, what balance do you have to pay, and all that. So it's a day-to-day activity. The administration's data also, or information that needs to be provided, needs to talk about the name of the students, the class that the student belongs to, the age, and as to whether you have even any medical condition. They are used to collect data and maintain data, modify and delete data also. So in their day-to-day activities in those offices, and also in your home, if you decide to collect one, your mom can create an operational database that would regulate and check, okay, what food are we eating today? What ingredients do we need? So if, let's say, we are to eat banku today, your mom entering the data will say, after clicking on banku, to be able to give you all the ingredients that comes about under the preparation of banku. I hope you do understand this simple analogy of operational database. So next is analytical database. The analytical database, it is a static database where data is very modified. We don't usually modify this data because we don't usually want to have access to that data. So that can be related to the website that we access today. Google frequently updates theirs, but we get information on some static information that is mostly provided. This database is often used to store and track historical data to make long-term projections and analysis. Again, the account section uses this. And also, organizations such as Fatal Community School uses this information, and that's the reason why when you go to the administration and you check their system, they've got all students that have passed through Fatal Community School right from when it started even till now, even with staff of the school, staff that are currently at post and staff that has exited the school. So that is what we call the analytical database. It also helps us to analyze our growth and performances in our homes, our schools, and wherever we find ourselves where database is created.
Hope you enjoyed the lesson. It has been very beautiful spending time with you at this point in time. I'd like to encourage you that you go through the notes that are presented to you and also try as much as possible to at least try the assignments that has been given to you. See you in the next lesson.